Long ago, in a magical world beneath the sea, there existed a beautiful underwater kingdom hidden deep below the waves. At its center stood the grand palace of the Sea King, built from shining coral and surrounded by the wonders of the ocean. The Sea King ruled this kingdom after the loss of his beloved queen. Since then, the care of the royal family had fallen to the princess's grandmother, who loved all 6 of her granddaughters dearly. Among the 6 mermaid princesses, the youngest, Ariel, was the most curious. While her sisters enjoyed the beauty of the sea, Ariel often dreamed about another world, the mysterious world above the ocean. She spent much of her time alone in her special garden, wondering what life on the surface might be like. Whenever her grandmother spoke about humans, cities, forests, and ships, Ariel listened with great interest. The stories fascinated her. She longed to see the human world with her own eyes and imagined what it would be like to be part of it. In the underwater kingdom, every mermaid was allowed to visit the surface for the first time when she turned 15 years old. One by one, Ariel's older sisters reached that age and returned with amazing stories. The eldest spoke of bright city lights shining like countless stars. Another described golden sunsets across the horizon. One sister traveled far enough to see rivers, forests, and human lands. Another loved the endless beauty of the open sea. Each story made Ariel even more eager to visit the surface.
As the years passed, her desire grew stronger. Finally, the day arrived. Ariel turned 15. Filled with excitement, she was prepared for her first journey above the waves. Leaving her home behind for a short time, she slowly rose toward the surface. When she emerged from the sea, she saw something incredible. A large ship sailing nearby. The ship was full of music, laughter, and celebration. A handsome young prince was celebrating his birthday aboard the vessel. Lights sparkled across the deck, and the atmosphere was joyful and festive. Hidden among the waves, Ariel watched the prince with fascination. But soon, the weather began to change. Dark clouds gathered overhead. Strong winds swept across the sea. Suddenly, the ship broke apart. In the chaos, Ariel saw the prince fall into the sea. Without hesitation, she rushed toward him. Braving the raging waves, she reached the unconscious prince and carried him through the storm. Refusing to leave him behind, she struggled through the water until she finally reached the shore. As dawn approached, Ariel gently placed him on the beach. Moments later, she heard approaching footsteps and quickly hid behind a rock. A young woman arrived and found the prince lying on the shore. She called for help as he slowly regained consciousness. When the prince opened his eyes, the first person he saw was the young woman standing beside him. Believing she had rescued him, he looked at her with gratitude. Hidden from sight, Ariel watched silently. She knew the truth, but she had no way to tell him. With a heavy heart, she slipped back into the sea and returned to her underwater home. Although she was back beneath the waves, her thoughts remained with the prince. Again and again, she returned to the place where she had saved him, hoping to see him once more. Little by little, her feelings for him grew stronger, and she found herself unable to forget the prince she had rescued from the storm. With the help of her sisters, she eventually found the seaside palace where the prince lived. From that day on, she often watched him from afar. The more she learned about his kindness and courage, the deeper her love became. One day, Ariel asked her grandmother about humans. She learned that humans possessed immortal souls, Mermaids did not have such souls, her grandmother explained, unless a human loved them with all their heart. Those words settled deeply in Ariel's mind. That very night, while celebrations filled the Sea Kingdom, Ariel made a life-changing decision. She left her world and journeyed to the darkest part of the ocean. There lived a fearsome sea witch. The witch understood Ariel's wish.
She wanted to become human and win the prince's love. But there was a heavy price. To gain human legs, Ariel would have to give up her beautiful voice. Every step she took would feel as though she were walking on sharp knives. Most importantly, if the prince did not fall in love with her and marry her, she would dissolve into sea foam. Yet Ariel was willing to accept the risk for love. Taking the magical potion, she rose to the surface and reached the shore. As soon as she drank it, terrible pain spread through her body. She lost consciousness and collapsed on the beach. The next morning, when she awoke, she discovered that her tail had vanished. In its place were 2 human legs. Standing before her was the prince. She tried to speak, but no sound came from her lips. Her voice was gone forever. Even so, the prince felt a special connection to her. He brought her to his palace. At last, Ariel had entered the world she had always dreamed of. The prince had her dressed in royal clothing, and her beauty amazed everyone. Yet there was only one desire in her heart. The prince must love her. She spent time with him, danced for him, and did everything she could to make him happy. As time passed, Ariel and the prince became very close friends. He disliked spending even a single day without her. Yet there was someone else who occupied a place in his heart. One day, the prince shared a secret with Ariel. He spoke of the girl who had saved his life during the storm years ago. He said he could never forget her. He believed she was the one he truly loved and hoped to find her someday. Those words shattered Ariel's heart. Meanwhile, news arrived from a neighboring kingdom. The prince's family wanted him to marry a princess from that land. At first, he showed little interest. He insisted that he could only love the girl who had saved his life. But because of his royal duties, he eventually traveled to the neighboring kingdom. Ariel accompanied him. When they arrived, the kingdom was filled with celebration. The palace gates opened, and a beautiful princess stepped forward. The moment the prince saw her, his face lit up with joy. After the storm, she had been the first person he saw when he regained consciousness. Therefore, he believed she was the one who had rescued him. His heart overflowed with happiness, convinced that he had finally found the girl he had been searching for. Ariel watched silently. Soon afterward, the prince's wedding to the princess was announced. The city erupted in celebration. Music and joy filled every corner. But amid all the festivities, Ariel's world was falling apart. For one final time, she danced for the prince. Every step brought pain, yet she hid her suffering. She knew that by sunrise, her life would be over. Late that night, after the prince and his bride had gone to rest, Ariel's sisters rose from the sea. Their beautiful long hair was gone. To save Ariel, they had traded it to the sea witch in exchange for a magical knife. They placed the knife in Ariel's hands and revealed a terrible truth. If she plunged the knife into the prince's heart before sunrise and his blood touched her feet, she would become a mermaid once again and survive. Otherwise, she would dissolve into sea foam when the sun rose. Holding the knife, Ariel quietly entered the prince's chamber. There he slept peacefully beside his wife.
On one side stood her own life. On the other stood the life of the man she loved. Ariel could not bring herself to kill him. Instead, she threw the knife into the sea. Accepting her fate, she leaped into the ocean.
Then, something extraordinary happened. She did not sink. Instead, she began to rise. The sun emerged, spreading golden light across the sea. Within that radiant glow, Ariel felt lighter than air. Around her appeared shining celestial beings. They told her that because she had placed the happiness of others above her own life, she had earned a new destiny. She had sacrificed herself for love. Therefore, she would not become sea foam. Instead, she would rise as a spirit of light, a guardian of goodness. Meanwhile, the prince and his wife awoke. They could not find Ariel anywhere. They never knew what had become of her. But, unseen by them, Ariel came one final time to their side. She blessed them with a lifetime of happiness. Then, she rose above the clouds, free at last, without limits, a timeless symbol of sacrifice and selfless love. And with that, our story comes to an end. Thank you for spending this peaceful time with Sleep Tales. If you enjoyed this bedtime journey, don't forget to subscribe and join us for more magical stories. Good night, and see you in the next tale.